Okay, welcome. What you're about to see is an interview with Ben Kiriaty, aka Benki. He is an improvisational modular techno artist based in Tel Aviv, Israel, and just wanted to thank him for taking the time to do this interview. I had approached him to do an interview for a graduate class I'm taking on marketing, music marketing, and brand promotion, and he agreed to do it. And then I just sprung it on him mid conversation in this intro. Said, "Hey, some people." I told them I interviewed Honey Smack, and they were like, "Well, did you record it?" And I unfortunately I did not record that because I felt like it was such a big ask already to get an interview. So I sprung it on him. I said, "Hey, can we record this?" And he agreed. It took a little coaxing, but he did agree. And so that's where we're gonna start this interview off, is just kind of talking about his presence online and kind of how I discovered him and stuff. So enjoy this interview. Thank you so much for your support. Please go to all of his channels, his YouTube channel, his Instagram, his Facebook, and he also mentions his SoundCloud. Check the links in the description and, follow him, support him. Check out his vids. I mean, genuinely, he makes some really awesome videos on modular techno, and you can hear it in his sets too. So, yeah, definitely check him out. Thanks so much. I hope you guys enjoy the interview, and see you next time. You have a lot of fans, man. Like, everybody that's come into the Discord has been like, "Yo, you see Benki stuff," and so.
To be honest, I try not to get too much involved in everything that happens in social media. I mean, I love sharing and uploading, and I when I feel like, but I really try not to get too involved, or to feel that um, to feel too obliged. You say. You to start to create content and everything. So I'm really happy when people give good feedback, and I read all the comments, and I get the notifications, and people ask questions and send me emails, and I'm really happy about that. But yeah, honestly, my social media game is so weak.
I mean, because we really don't have time for it. I mean, I'd rather just be making music, or just patching or something.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And well, lately, since we are like our reality has changed completely over the last 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we've been like back to our routine, full on working, so I haven't had that much time to dedicate to music, honestly.
Mm.
But yeah, I will get it back to it, eventually.
And you're like a video. You said you did like video FX and stuff. Is that right?
Oh, I do lighting design. um I like working with video, but like I try to incorporate that into my live set. um but I'm not there yet. But I'm really interested in everything that's audio visual. Um, but like putting it together with a Benki set is a little bit too complicated. Yeah, maybe because there's too much information in the set. I mean, it's fast techno. You cannot make like a generative video thing uh, behind it. I mean, that's how I see it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do more audio than video. If you're talking about it, I've done some sound design for games and apps and stuff like that. That's what I was really into before I got into synths.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, so I'm more of a I'm an audio engineer. If you try to like look into my past and what I've been doing lately. Um, so yeah, everything that has to do with audio and video, and lighting. So yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah. Cool, man. So how long have you been doing that?
Oh well,
I guess both of them, audio and then video or lighting.
Yeah, it's funny because I studied audio, but like my actual job is in lighting. It's what I've been doing for the last 10 years or so. Um, but like I've been really interested in visual stuff. Also, um, like branching out of lighting, going into other visual media stuff. Yeah, it's a general interest, but it's nothing professional yet.
So where did techno come into the picture? Like how long?
Oh wow. I mean, I've been pretty much into everything that is has some level of, we can call it aggression. If it's metal or if it's drum and bass, dubstep, all that. I'm a guitar player. Um, like first of all, I'm a guitar player. So yeah, it just came to a point where I just became more interested in working with synths than working with people. You don't have to, convince anyone about anything, and your synthesizer is never late.
Yeah, it's like a band playing
Yeah.
in bands.
Then I discovered, when I was younger, the whole VST thing that you can record yourself. And that's how I got into using synths and thinking like a bass player, thinking like a drummer. Because now you have to do it all by yourself. So that's how I got into music production. And eventually that's what took me into electronic music. I had no idea of what is a drum machine, for example. And then yeah, over time it just evolved that rock music, blues, and metal and all that just took a more electronic shape, but the general darkness, it's still in there. And that's how I got into techno. I mean, I feel it's a good playground that you can like express your ideas in.
Do you ever? I haven't seen it, but do you play guitar with your modular? You ever done that? Like mixed it?
I have one video where I yeah, it was one of those nights where you're I was like completely in a mood of, okay, let's just try new things, and I started jamming out with a guitar and some synth sequence. um, I have used it, also the synthesizer, to process the guitar, just like you would use any pedal board, because I do have like a bunch of distortion units in the rack, and also the noise engineering DSP thing, the Dismodus Versio, which is awesome to process guitars through. So yeah, I have done some recordings. I've tried to do some cinematic stuff. I might upload it. For some reason, it's not yet there yet. But I might put like a dark ambient album out.
Sick. That's sick, man. So I can't, I can't remember how I stumbled on your videos, but I think I was looking up just like techno and modular, and then I think I came across your how I play videos, and that's like when I started looking more into what you were working on and stuff. And yeah, those are great videos, man. They help me out a lot. Everybody says it helps them out too, so thank you for that.
Yeah, I'm really happy you say it, because one of my jobs in my life outside of the studio, basically, is to be a teacher. and I really enjoy teaching people and just sharing knowledge. During the pandemic, we were all stuck at home, and I was trying to find good ways to use my time and spend my time doing like productive stuff. So that's how the how I play series started.
Yeah.
And then I saw like it had some level of, I'm really easy to please. So for me, like 100 views was great. So yeah, it had some momentum. So I decided to just make a few more and then make a few more. And now I'm at a point where I make them only if I really have something to show. Because there's only so much you can show. I mean, the system is just a system. You use it to play music, and it's finite. It's constantly evolving, and I try to share that evolution. But it doesn't always happen. I mean, if it was always changing, I would never. I don't know. I mean, I feel it has to be one thing. So, I mean, a guitar is only a guitar. Your drum set is a drum set. So, techno system must be a techno system. I mean, you have to be able to use it with your eyes closed. So, once you finish explaining everything, then that's it. Basically, I've done a few changes. Actually, recently I did a few changes. In my next video, I'm thinking about showing those changes, of course, which consists of, I mean, I made a few really big changes. I got some verbose stuff that I love. I thought it's pure hype. No, it's not pure hype.
Don't tell me that, man. Don't tell me that. What'd you get?
The foundation oscillator, and also the amp and tone. And right now I'm waiting for the multi delay. Yeah. So that's it. I mean, I also added rings, which is a fairly basic module, because I found that I was adding more and more and more modules just to make a really simple voice, right? Because an Odessa with a natural gate, with some, I don't know, a Turing machine and all that, just to make something that sounds like rings. So I just cut everything out and put rings, which makes the system easier to use.
Yeah. You gotta make room for all that verbose stuff too.
Yeah. Also, my sound has changed over time. You develop, you become interested in new sounds or new ways of doing stuff, So yeah, that's why I like what I like sharing. But I have to wait for a good time to gather enough information that you can share in one video, because I don't want to be making videos that just waste people's time.
Yeah. Speaking of the foundation oscillator was recommended to me a long time ago by Trent over at Detroit Modular. He said that thing's pretty sick, and then but I ended up doing some other stuff. But man, now that you're saying it,
it's the richest sound I've ever got from an oscillator.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, and it's so small. It's so it's only 10 HP, and it sounds like, I don't know, like two complex oscillators hooked to each other, and it's still harmonic. It's not a bunch of weird ring modulation stuff, which I love, by the way. But it does what it should do, and it does it well. So
some of the guys had in the Discord had mentioned the delay as well, but it's out of stock everywhere. So I think the secret's out now.
I wasn't even planning to buy it yet. I mean, I thought I thought this specific module would wait for 2022. But then I saw it on Signal Sounds in stock like 2 days ago. You know, you just buy it because they're so rare.
Yeah.
Also some Frap Tools stuff that I bought.
What were you looking at from Frap?
The Falistri, which is the dual function generator thing.
Okay.
But the way he thinks about his stuff is really interesting because it's fresh. I don't know, it feels fresh, but it's a nice iteration of very classic building block.
Mm.
I mean, putting a slew generator there in a bipolar VCA inside, and the flip flop thing. I feel that these are good additions to that module, and having it in this compact thing, I mean, makes sense to me. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
those are going though to my to the live rack and not to the to the studio case and not to the live case. By the way, the live case is upstairs. It should be here. I haven't got time to like put it back together.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I had a really nice gig in the weekend. I don't like talking about these things. I mean, I feel like, I play only vinyl, like that.
No, man. No. It's all good. It's all good.
But yeah, people are noticing, and it's nice. They appreciate it that you come with your stuff and you play for them, and they really feel. I mean, they tell me, man, it doesn't sound like anything I've ever heard, and it's the best party I've been to like in months.
Nice.
So even though it's like super heavy, and you have to run sound checks in the beginning, even though you're playing at like 8 a.m., you have to be there at 11 at night the night before. Yeah, so logistically it's much more complicated, but I mean, in the end, it's like so rewarding. So
yeah, and the sound is like way better. Just like cuts through everything.
Hard to really nail it because I don't really have an EQ and a compressor and all that. So you're basically listening to yourself in much more detail and attention, which becomes it's exhausting, but I love it. I mean, yeah, people are a little bit more patient when they know you're playing live. If it's not exactly there, like the is not there, or like the lead volume is a little bit too high or stuff like that, like they take it like easy. But yeah, it's definitely something that you must get used to listening to.
So as for the live sound at the venue, is there a sound guy, and is he running multi-track, and you give him that control, or is it just you and the 2-track?
Not really, man. You going into the DJ mixer of the venue.
Yeah.
Straight from the Befaco mixer. I have like two TRS cable to two RCA cables, and that's it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a deliberate choice. That's how we say it in English, because I wanted to keep it as easy as possible. I mean, logistically and technically. I mean, that's why I got the Befaco and that cable and everything, and instead of like, I don't know, trying to come with like an external mixer and start like doing stuff that way. I really, everything I do, it must be as simple as possible, and yeah. So that's why I'm using it that way. I just open that suitcase thing, 2 power cables, and off you go.
Yeah.
That's how it should be done, in my opinion.
Yeah. I was talking to Honey Smack, and he was saying that we were talking about multi-tracking stuff just for recording, and he's like, I have all this stuff. I think he has the Bafaco mixer as well, and I think he gets 6 tracks out. Is that right? Individual outs. And he was like, I have the stuff to do it, but I just never do it. I just use the 2-track, and if it sounds good, it's just like whatever. I'm going to use that, And that's what he was saying. He just did a record with Carl Cox in Carl Cox's studio, and that's what he said he did. He's just like, I set up all my stuff, and just have to get the vibe right. I don't know if he said he multi-tracked that one or not, but anyway, yeah. The idea was just like, if it sounds good, then whatever, you just use the 2-track, just be done.
I used to have everything, because I do have the expander also. And you can multi-track, and that's the way it's usually connected when it's here in the studio.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, it sounds a little bit different when you just go 2-track in and that's it.
Yeah, some kind of summing or something. I don't know, maybe it's just like the modular gear, it all sums together. And
I must say that I rely pretty heavily on the delays and reverbs. Because because it's techno. Don't feed the interface from the direct outs. They go from the master out.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I just end up recording the left and right master output, and that's it. Sometimes I use, I made a sample pack, and I try to build the whole sample pack from just jamming. And when you're making it in this situation, you try to, isolate every single channel, of course, from which then you can, cut the little bits. So that's one case I used. I multi-tracked everything, but usually when I'm recording a track or something like that, it's everything live, 2-track in, and I just do some, master bus processing, and that's it. Yeah. That's why I also recommend people. It took me a lot of time to kind of let go, because technically you learn the right way to do things, the right way to gain stage, the right way to isolate things, all that. And then your mind becomes fixed to working in a single way. But then your music becomes the same all the time. That's why sometimes I just turn off this part of the rack, the lower one, and try to patch only this one without being dependent on the lower one, just to make my brain try to wire it differently. So yeah, that's I try to keep making changes all the time to my workflow and to how my studio is set up and everything, and recording straight into the computer from the master output is one of those things that I also do.
Mm-hmm.
Avoid being stuck.
The rack is always changing. It's always moving stuff around.
If you're not moving it, then I just turn it off and not use it at all. And it forces me to use different things. The same things differently, for example.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think it's exercise and also keeps you interested in music, which I think it's super important.
So you did some vinyl releases pretty recently, didn't you? You were on some records.
There was actually, that vinyl release was from 3 years ago. I did a remix for a friend, and he didn't tell me it was gonna be on vinyl. I just made the remix, and he told me, yeah, it got into some label that puts out vinyl, uh, and I never got the copy.
Oh no.
And then you know how life is. We hadn't talked for a while, and then one day he knows where I work because I work in. It's easy, like it's like a famous place here in Israel where people make events and weddings, mostly weddings. So he knew I was working there, and one day he was invited, and I hadn't seen him for like 2 years, maybe more. And there he was. He just appeared with his bag with the vinyl in, and yeah, he gave me the record. It was a pretty good moment.
Yeah, that's super cool. That's super nice of him too. Come full circle.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool, man.
And I also got into compilation, the ASR label, Assassin Soldier, and also the Tune Girl is she put out an EP through them also. Um, and yeah, and this specific compilation, they wanted to bring a few people who make exclusively or rely mostly on modular stuff or analog stuff. And it was a really nice compilation. I'm really happy to be among the artists there. And but it was a CD this time, like an actual compact disc, which is really cool, I think.
Yeah.
If you talk about retro, then I think CD is even more retro than vinyl these days.
Yeah. Yeah, now it is for sure. Oh, that's cool, man.
Yeah.
So you got a lot. You have a lot going on. You have a lot
Well,
of
I,
stuff.
keep myself busy.
Yeah.
Good things.
So about some techno stuff, I noticed you have the permutation. Is it permutation module? Yeah, I just recently started. I built a Turing machine, so I've been messing with that. But how do you feel like? How important is the random stuff, like generative stuff in techno?
It's a love-hate relationship, but I just need it. I cannot live without it, actually. But it's just too much work to generate everything on the fly when you're playing live. So mostly when I'm playing live, I just need it there. You know, I just need to be able to press a button or turn a knob and just get something new and fresh that hopefully will work. So yeah, permutation is working well. I have it connected right now to the rings. Super easy, you know, it generates a pattern, generates some notes, and off you go, you know. I just cue it 1 second and then I go. I try to rely on, sorry about that. I'm using my phone as a camera right now.
That's cool, man. I didn't even notice.
Yeah, so I was trying to base my whole CV sequence, pitch sequencing thing off the main sequencer, but it's not as interesting, not as fun as like the risk you get with the Turing machine, with the permutation. And yeah, I try to make like, I like when the drums are super solid, you know what you get. I like to program them as, in a certain way, but I leave everything that has to do with the sounds, like the lead sounds themselves. I just, they're basically generated randomly almost.
Do you cue, like a loop before you throw the faders up, and then also do you use a quantizer?
No and no.
So it's really random sometimes.
Yeah, what I usually cue is the I mean, I want to hear the sequence before I bring it in, the pitch sequence. That's mostly what I do. And also like the sound, I try to like, you basically build the whole voice as fast as you can when you're cueing it. But the drum pattern, that's what I work on the most before the gigs, and in general, basically. I just place a few patterns one after the other in a certain way that makes sense on a night, basically. And then I just play them one after the other. I mean, I just jam on them a few minutes, 6 minutes, whatever. And then when I go to the next pattern, I don't know what I get because I don't remember exactly what's on each one of them, but I know I can rely on just playing them, you know. And then I can free my attention. Oops, I can free myself to build the sounds in the LIP, for example, which is like super broad in terms of what it can do. So I try to focus on making good sounds from it and from rings. And you have to read the crowd in the middle, like while you're taking care of all this, and your attention is limited. My attention is limited, that's for sure. So yeah, that's why I don't have to cue drums, because I've worked on them before. I leave my attention only to the those sounds. And for the second question, no, I don't use any quantizers. I think that's what keeps it fresh and interesting. I mean, the sounds that I need, basically, or most of the time, are not sounds that are not tonal anyways. So if it's not tonal, then why do quantizer to try to make them tonal? They will never sound like harmonic, even if you like play the minor pentatonic scale on them, you know. So I just leave it that way, and people seem to dig it. So why bother? What I do use, I have a scale knob, okay, and the scale knob is what's important for me. The scale knob on the permutation allows you to go basically to choose the range of the melody you're playing, and that range can go from 0 volts to 2 volts, 4 volts, whatever. Using that knob, I change the sequence, right? And if it's not sounding, I mean, if I'm trying to go for something that is catchy and melodic, then I just try to land on something catchy and melodic by stretching that range, you know. Suddenly what sounded like a minor second sounds like a minor third.
Yeah, because it doesn't just change the octaves.
Something inside that sequence, and not all the notes have to land on perfect like pitches. To me, it's enough that you get like a, I don't know, something that sounds roughly like a perfect fifth, and then everything in between can be whatever, and I'm fine with that. Which I wasn't, by the way, always fine with it. I had a really hard time like jamming with people, and I was like, "Can you hear that's out of tune?" And they were like, "So what?" And it drove me crazy. But today I get it. Like, no, like, I don't bother. I guess it's that evolution thing. Harmonic stuff is just doesn't cut it anymore.
I was going to say, yeah, because when you scale, it doesn't just change the range, it actually changes the notes.
Changes the distance between the lowest and highest note, and everything in between just gets sandwiched between them.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Do you do offset after that as well?
Just because I don't have the option, but I would do.
Yeah.
Well, I offset with the pitch knob, the actual pitch of the oscillator. That's
Got
why
it. Wow, that's a lot of info.
I'm gonna focus on next video is those two new voices that I've developed
Mm-hmm.
that are working for me well right now. It's the verbose voice, which by the way is the most basic voice you can think of, just well made. It's basically just two sawtooth waves into a filter with a VCA. That's what it is. It's I have the harmonic oscillator into the amp and tone, the new one, and I'm using the amp and tone just to, like the most basic filter you can find, but it just works, you know. So yeah, and that rings into the one knob ring sequence thing, which works super nice.
So, is there anything else that you're excited about, like module wise, that is on your radar?
Oh well, can I look 1 second in my wish list?
Yeah, for sure.
This should be interesting though. Let's see. I do have a few Fractal things. The Erica drum sequencer. That's definitely my next big thing. A big improvement on the current live rack.
What are you using right now?
The Variegate 8.
Okay, that's right. That's right. Yeah. The the drum sequencer, it has a one CV pitch, and you can generate random pattern with that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's why I was thinking about actually replacing the whole random thing and put the Erica and just like, you know, yeah. I mean, you keep the same logic under it, you know. Okay, I do have the wish list here. One is the Chaos Devices delay.
Sarajevo.
Yeah.
Yep, I got it, man. It's sick.
Really?
Yeah, it sounds so good. It once it starts I guess I don't know if feeding back or self-oscillating, like I immediately just thought about a space echo, and I was like, why am I thinking about a space echo? It just has that, like, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, you'll dig it.
I know I will. There's also, well, there's the usual everything that people usually want, the random source wave multipliers. There's the Bark filter, also the piston Honda. That should be like, I was thinking for a while about buying the piston Honda to replace the LIP in the live rack, just because I was thinking about actually making preset sounds or preset waveforms that can also be super complex, just from one to the other, because a lot of time I find myself using the LIP but not finding the right sound quick enough. So having like a bank of good sounds that are also interesting and challenging to the ear should benefit the live show, I think.
Yeah.
So those two for the live show right now. I mean, the Erica sequencer and the Piston Honda, and the rest is for for fun at home. I'm gonna be replacing these two Mantis cases, and a friend is building me like an 18U 168 HP, and yeah, that should be ready, I think, in the following month. Yeah, so I will have enough space and power to all my dreams.
So that's interesting. You have both a live setup and a studio setup. So I guess the live setup is the only thing that goes out.
Yes.
Okay.
That's why I'm the live setup is basically an Elite case, which is like a portable suitcase thing. And the studio case, I never bothered to try to make it portable or small enough or something like that. So because I already have a solution for it. I never wanted to make my live case too big. So yeah, I feel happy that way, having a limited space for live use and a bigger but still limited space for studio use.
All right. So the class I'm taking is a graduate course. It's music, branding, and business. And, it's interesting that you said that you're not focused on social media and stuff, but you already have fans. You got people that respect what you do and they're watching your videos. And I mean, I'm one of them, man. I watch them. It helped me out. And so, I mean, what's your take on it? What's your take on the state of techno and being an artist that's doing something? I mean, it's not new, but it's kind of new. Like, especially we're talking about, we're not playing in key anymore. It's like kind of noise. I don't know. I mean, what's the future? What do you think?
Well, I think now it's the time. Like, yeah, that's my short answer. I mean, how I feel. I already felt it. Like 2 years ago, you would go to a party and you would see, like, I don't know, somebody playing with a synthesizer and nobody would notice, or it would look like, the weird guy, that guy on the small room playing, like even others just don't even want you there, all that. But I do feel that, I know it might be a little insensitive to say it, but COVID made a few good things to the scene, actually. If you think about it, because people spend a lot more time to get educated and spend a lot more time on social media and on the internet in general, and are more exposed to new things. I mean, it means they got bored from watching the same stuff over and over. And there you have it, techno made in a different way, which is like goes back to the first days of techno. People just would use synthesizers and drum machines and see what happens, and would record everything with, I don't know, with a little 2-track cassette or something. So yeah, I think that's why right now we can go back to party again. People want to see what they saw when they got bored from the same old stuff, and yeah, I mean, I'm this is, at least this is the way I see it from my point of view, because that's what I'm experiencing right now. I mean, people are calling to, they want me to play, and they want me to play not like an opening set, which I think it's the most challenging thing ever. But they want me like center or to close the party and play 3 hours, which I did that like 2 weeks ago and was super crazy and fun. Yeah, I'm super happy they treat a live act just as they would treat a DJ. Not in the sense that a DJ is like must be treated like a superstar or something, but the other way. I mean, they treat you like, I mean, you're there for the people. You're not there to do your thing. I mean, you do your thing, but it's for them. And I think sometimes DJs tend to forget that, but the party is still made for the people who want. I mean, you have to give service to the party goers, basically. And I think us as musicians, and we know what entertainment means, and we try to deliver it. And yeah, and it's seeing some kind of I don't know. Can you call it awake? No, like not awakening, but oh my god, my English is so terrible.
No, it's great, man.
We're
It's great.
seeing it in a much more positive way. Um, it's much. It's still not mainstream, but it's not so like eccentric. It's not seen as weirdly as before. Um, and people are much more open to it. And also, at least here, the scene is made up from such a wide range of ages. So it's super nice to go and you meet young people, you meet older people who have been going out for much more time, and they both experience what you're doing from a little bit differently because they compare it to different things, different places they've been to, different memories. I don't know. Anyways, what was the question? Sorry.
No, it's just like the future of techno and I guess live performing, like yeah, kind of like you're talking about.
I think techno as an art form has always been evolving and changing, and what we see now with all this, I mean, hardware has always been in techno. If not in the studio, then on stage, or like both in the studio and on stage. But the Eurorack format specifically is only one keystone of that ongoing change. I mean, you can even call it a trend. I don't know, man. Like, this is what I use. This is my tool now. In 2 years, I might, I don't know, I might be tired of it and trying something else. Just like I'm right now trying not to conform to a specific scale or something like that. Yeah, so I'm just keeping an open mind, trying to do my own thing. And I'm happy that people are accepting it more than ever.
What do you think is the um I guess the end game for sharing your music and releasing your music? Because I don't even know if people are buying music anymore. Uh, I DJ occasionally, for parties and stuff, for like weddings and stuff, and it's hard to buy music now, um, and so like also Honey Smack, he's like recorded music is dead. Nobody is buying music. It's all streaming. So, what is the optimal place to perform and share your music? Is it live streams, Twitch, YouTube? Do you put it on Spotify or all of the above? I don't know. What do you think?
Uh, I think we will never be able to replace the feeling of playing for actual people in an actual space, but we must embrace everything that technology gives us to support the ability to play in a real place. I mean, you have to be present online as much as you want to be present in a real club. And I don't think you can succeed without being online. I don't know if it's a bad thing or a sad thing or good thing or whatever, but this is how I see it. I mean, I owe what I'm doing right now, what I'm able to do right now, in to social media, basically. Even though I'm like nowhere near, mastering the media marketing thing or the Instagram algorithm or anything like that. I just enjoy giving people what they like. I enjoy sharing with people what I like, and social media is a good platform for that. But yeah, if you want to make it your job, your profession, then social media has to be one of the top priorities. You can see it in all levels of industry, if you want to call it. You see top level DJs, they just have a photographer following them everywhere, you know.
Yeah.
And it's not just because they can, it's because they need to, you know. You see smaller acts. I have a good friend playing here. You all should follow him too. His name is Konapt. He also plays with a modular synth and with drum drum like the Roland TR8S. Yeah, and what he does is like a much more industrial vibe. He has, yeah,
It's KONAPT.
yeah, exactly.
Okay, yeah, I got him.
And if you see what he is doing, he's doing exactly what, I don't know, Richie Houghton would do, you know, or yeah, any of those like Nina Kravitz, whatever, which is do your social media thing, you know, take care of it. Try to record your shows on video, upload them to SoundCloud, you know, do all that. Interact with your followers and all that. And it you see that on all levels. I mean, it's not only for the big DJs, and it's even more. It's for the small acts that become big.
Sometimes it seems like a fashion show.
So you have to be able to find a way to stand out somehow. You know, either through your music or your story or how you look, or you know, people in the end come to see you because the not only for the music. It's never only for the music, and that's something you shouldn't be ashamed of. Also, people like to talk to you. People want to see how you react to their questions, or you know how you behave. People want to listen to your story, basically. So all that has to come through. You know, not only the music, which is much harder said than done. Much easier said than done. Because you know, we us as introverts, you know, opening up to people you can even see is like, I don't know, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, I'm still trying to get used to, I don't know, even posting, you know, posting stories. Most of my stories are kept like in the private, you know, close friends, all that.
Yeah.
Even though it's stuff from the studio from the day to day, you know. Um, but yeah, I'm still trying to let go of that, you know. It's all part of that trying to use social media to your benefit.
Mm. Well, cool, man. That's great advice. Honey Smack said the same thing. He said, "Do everything you can." Pretty much.
Totally, you shouldn't be ashamed of anything. And why should you? Also, people don't even remember what they read about you or saw about you, you know. They just develop this very, very general idea of who you are uh, by getting exposed daily to your stuff.
Okay, so where can people reach you? Because I don't know where this is getting posted, but
Oh, well, probably Instagram is the easiest way. Benki dot underscore.
I'll put a link in the
Yeah, that would be.
description.
I do have some stuff on SoundCloud if people want to listen to my. There's a DJ set in there too because you know, why not?
So you
Uh,
DJ too?
well, I haven't done that in a while, but I do have some friends I've met over the years in India, and one of them has a really cool podcast, and he asked me to contribute, so I was happy to do so. Also, because I hadn't touched any DJ gear for like 3 years, and I was like, okay, this is a good opportunity. Why not? Also, it's really important to stay up to date with what's happening. Like, how do certain label is sounding these days, or some stuff like that. So this was my way of, getting up to date a little bit.
You still mix vinyl?
Me?
Beat match and everything? Yeah.
Not vinyl though.
Okay.
But yeah, Benki on Facebook, Benki on every little social media thing. I read. I'm really important to me to like get back to people and read all the comments and stuff. Also, I want to believe that I put out okay content. So if you want to, oh, by the way, good that you asked me. If you want to follow, like, see all the more educational side of like what I like doing, then YouTube would be the best option. My username there is my real name, not Benki, but Ben Kiriaty. Yeah. You will post links to all these, right? I don't have to.
Yeah, we'll talk after we stop the recording. Anything else you want to add, man, before we turn off the end the interview?
Not really. I mean, thanks for having me, man. This was really fun. I hope everyone who will watch this will get out something from it. Yeah, that's it.
Cool. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate you taking the time, and just to encourage you. You definitely have. There's a lot of people watching, so I think you're doing some great stuff for everybody. So I appreciate that.